So welcome guys to the session by Motivational Monetary Fundas, and here I'm going to talk about one of the most important thing which has been talked about in the market as on 22nd of February 2022 about the Reserve Bank of India sell buy swap of $5 billion, 5 billion US dollars. So I'll be talking about what exactly is this RBI sell buy swap in very easy sense, and I won't be confusing you with the excessive topics of finance. Okay, so I won't be talking about the concepts of swaps or derivatives so that this concept is easy for everyone to understand. Okay, so in general, I'll be trying to make it as simplified as possible because a large number of queries came to me as well and to a large number of people as well. They want to know what exactly is an RBI sell buy swap and why there is like so much news going around in the market. So बिल्कुल इसको हम simple रखेंगे and in the simplicity, simple way में I'll try to explain you in a much better way. Okay, so what is the present scenario as of now? The present scenario क्या चल रहा है? The present scenario we all know. We have the geopolitical tensions going around, the Russia and the Ukraine crisis. Also, like due to that, the oil prices are rising and the commodities prices are also rising because of the huge scarcity. Because oil and a large number of commodities like wheat or barley is being imported from Ukraine and Russian countries, right? So that is the thing which is going around all over. So at this point of time, the Reserve Bank of India is concerned of maintaining the rupee stance. They do not want the rupee to get depreciated. Simply बोले वो चाहते नहीं है कि रुपी की वैल्यू घटे, अपने इंडियन INR की वैल्यू घटे. And that is the fact we all know to be plain. The rupee has always depreciated against the US dollar, maybe in the short run or the long run also. Rupee हमेशा गिरा है and dollar हमेशा बढ़ा है. And at this point of time, they do not want ki rupee get, right? And the second concern that is going around all over is about inflation, and that is why the US has started to maintain a hawkish stand, whereas I don't know why India is still maintaining a dovish stand. So now I use the two terms. I use the terms hawkish. One was the term that I used was hawkish, and the other term that I used was dovish. Now these terms are being talked about a lot in the top news channels and like on various news reports and all these stuff. So firstly, let me try to explain you the difference between the two. So by maintaining an hawkish stand, which the US government or the central bank of US is maintaining, by this stance we mean that the banks are more concerned, or the US country or the foreign countries are more concerned about inflation. Because the recent data we had in US also, they had crossed 40 years high inflation, 7.2% की inflation वहां पे पहुंच चुकी है. And by inflation I mean simply महंगाई, the reduction in your purchasing power of your money, and मतलब कि my purchasing power of money, and the rise in the prices of the commodities, simply महंगाई. तो उसकी वजह से the central bank of the foreign countries and especially USA have maintained a hawkish stand, because now they're concerned about inflation and only inflation, and the concern towards employment and growth is much lesser now because the growth has come in USA. Even the jobless claims have also fallen. US अच्छे से progress भी कर रहा है and वहां पे लोगों को jobs भी मिल रही हैं, but inflation बढ़ती जा रही है and that is the problem. But when we talk about in India, recently in the meeting of RBI as well, it said that inflation is not a matter of concern. We are concerned about growth and employment. So that's a dovish stand. But no matter what everyone says, कोई जो भी बोले, die and hard चाहे Indian economy हो चाहे बाहर की economy हो, everyone is concerned about inflation. And they do not want inflation to cross, and that is the present scenario that they want. And obviously, because of all these geopolitical tension and rise in oil prices and all these things, they do not want the value of rupee to also depreciate, जो हमेशा से होती आई है. Okay, so what they have done, they have started with an RBI sell-buy swap. 3 साल पहले उन्होंने सेम चीज बाय सेल स्वैप की करी थी. दैट वाज अ बाय सेल स्वैप. अब दे आर डूइंग द रिवर्स, अ सेल बाय स्वैप. ओके, एंड द मेन कंसर्न इज आल्सो दे वांट टू रिड्यूस द इन्फ्लेशन वाली जो बात है, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली इन्फ्लेशन कब बढ़ती है, जब इकोनॉमी में बहुत सारा पैसा आ जाता है, जब नोट्स छापे जा रही है, गवर्नमेंट छापे जा रही है एंड मान लो कि मनी सप्लाई इकोनॉमी में बढ़ती जा रही है, नोट्स बहुत छप रहे हैं. स्टिल अभी इकोनॉमी में बहुत पैसा है, especially in the Indian economy I'm talking about, because still the rates of interest have not increased by the governor of India or by the RBI. And now around 8th of March, we have the largest Indian IPO of the Life Insurance Corporation of India. LIC. And here the government is expected to dilute its 5% stake, जिसकी वैल्यू 60,000 करोड़ से लेकर 65,000 करोड़ की हो सकती है. 63,000 करोड़ ऑन एन एवरेज सब बोल रहे हैं, ठीक है, बट 60 to 65,000 करोड़ तक की हो सकती है. नाउ जस्ट टेल मी द बेसिक थिंग ऑफ स्टॉक मार्केट. अगर मार्केट में सप्लाई ज्यादा है, सेलर्स ज्यादा है, 5% से 63,000 करोड़ का एक दिन में सिंगल ट्रांजैक्शन हो रही है, इतने ज्यादा अमाउंट के सेलर ज्यादा हो रहे हैं, तो मार्केट में पैसा नहीं आ जाएगा, ज्यादा लिक्विडिटी नहीं बढ़ जाएगी, बिकॉज द मनी इज बीइंग फ्लोटेड नाउ इन द मार्केट. पैसा मार्केट में आ गया. एंड इट इज अ सो ग्रैंड IPO, इवन द फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स विल इन्वेस्ट इन दिस IPO. Okay, and they would invest in dollars. So the RBI or the government would be purchasing dollars and selling rupees. They would be purchasing dollars and selling rupees because बाहर के लोग are investing in dollars. Obviously, अब कोई बाहर से आया है, so that person would be investing in dollars, right? So our Indian country government or RBI, they would be purchasing in dollars and selling the rupees. And at that time, they have to control inflation. And they also cannot afford to depreciate the value of rupee as for now, because all tensions बहुत ही चल रही हैं. Interest rate बढ़ रहा है, लोग Indian stock market से they have started to invest in bonds, right? And also a large number of things are also going on, like the geopolitical tensions and all these things they cannot kind of afford as for now. Okay, so what they are doing, they have started with this sell buy swap. Okay, give me a second. I'm just connected to the battery one. Yeah. So in the sell buy swap, what exactly are they expecting? In the sell buy swap, what they're thinking, they want, they're selling $5 billion. Okay. $5 billion they're selling in the market or to the banks. Banks को बेच रहे हैं वो $5 billion. अब after 3 years, the bank will sell it back. अभी banks खरीद रहे हैं. Presently, the RBI is selling the $5 billion. Okay. And banks खरीद रहे हैं. And 3 साल बाद the banks will sell it. Okay. So ultimately that is absorbing the liquidity in the market. एक liquidity market में, because ultimately the RBI is having the rupees now. वो dollar बेच रहा है and उसको rupees मिल रहे हैं. Same as the case of exports and imports. जब हम imports ज्यादा करते हैं तो बाहर हमारा पैसा जाता है. We pay in rupees. बाहर हमारा पैसा जा रहा होता है, डॉलर्स में जा रहा होता है. एंड जब हम एक्सपोर्ट्स करते हैं तो बाहर रुपीज में पैसा आ रहा होता है. एक्सपोर्ट्स जब करते हैं तो मतलब कि बाहर से हमको पैसा मिलता है डॉलर्स, मतलब कि वी गेट द डॉलर्स एंड वी कन्वर्ट इट इनटू रुपी. सो वी ऑल नो दैट इन केस ऑफ एन इम्पोर्ट्स, अगर इम्पोर्ट्स बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएंगे, सो फर्दर इट ऑल्सो क्रिएट्स अ काइंड ऑफ द डेप्रिसिएशन ऑफ द करेंसी. हमारी करेंसी को प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है. सिमिलरली अगर एक्सपोर्ट्स ज्यादा होंगे, लाइक ऑन द वाइस वर्सा, our currency would be stable and it would appreciate as well. And that is what they want right now. The thing that they're focusing right now is towards they have to maintain the stance of the currency and currency को डुबाना नहीं चाहते. So that is why they're selling those 5 billion bonds, 5 billion, not bonds, $5 billion US, and to the banks, and banks are purchasing it, and after 3 years from now, they're gonna मतलब कि sell it back. And the same thing was done 3 years back, in the case, when they bought the dollars, the US dollars, and sold the rupee. Okay, so that thing they did in the past. Okay, so basically the thing is, at a present point of time, they want to maintain the stance because LIC का जो IPO आएगा, there would be huge liquidity in the market because supply बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगी, supply बहुत ही ज़्यादा हो जाएगी market में. So they want to absorb it as well. तो अभी they are selling the US dollars and taking the rupee so that they can absorb it. And if they have the rupee, because obviously they do not want the rupee to be circulated more in the market. तो चाहते नहीं है कि रुपी मार्केट में ज्यादा है. अगर ज्यादा आएगा तो अगेन इन्फ्लेशन वुड इंक्रीज, एंड जब मान लो कि महंगाई बढ़ेगी तो रुपी की वैल्यू घट जाएगी. So that is where they're having or purchasing more rupees as for now. And if they can purchase more rupees, they can also support the government borrowing program through the OMOs, open market operations, because government को भी पैसा चाहिए. अब गवर्नमेंट को पैसा क्यों चाहिए? उनका कैपेक्स का इतना सारा बजट है और उनके पास इतना पैसा तो है नहीं. So obviously the government would be issuing bonds. अब also instead of the public, the RBI can also buy the bonds अगर excessive रुपी वो मार्केट से ले लेगा, right? Because अगर वो मार्केट से ले रहा है, अगर वो बॉन्ड्स खरीद रहा है तो अल्टीमेटली वो पैसे दे रहा है. अगर RBI बॉन्ड्स खरीद रहा है तो अल्टीमेटली वो पैसे दे रहा है. और अगर वो पैसे दे रहा है तो इसका मतलब क्या होगा कि मार्केट में पैसा ज्यादा आ गया एंड सप्लाई ज्यादा आ गया एंड मान लो कि लिक्विडिटी ज्यादा आ गई। अब लिक्विडिटी ज्यादा आ गई तो मतलब इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ गया। तो अगर वो लिक्विडिटी बहुत सारी पहले ही सक कर ले मार्केट से, ठीक है, तो अगर वो ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशंस कर भी लेता है, अगर वो गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स खरीद भी लेता है, तो स्टिल मार्केट में पैसा कम ही जाएगा, बिकॉज 5 बिलियन यूएस डॉलर्स की ट्रांजैक्शन ऑलरेडी हो रही है और उसको कन्वर्ट करके वो रुपी ऑलरेडी अभी ले रहा है। तो अगर बाद में वो 20 करोड़ या 30 करोड़ की वो गवर्नमेंट बोरोइंग्स खरीद भी लेता है तो इतना कंसर्न रिगार्डिंग इन्फ्लेशन मार्केट में नहीं रहेगा। And also one thing, the RBI very smartly, it also pays a dividend to the central government. उसको dividend pay करना होता है, okay? Because ultimately what's happening, जो RBI में it is जो उसका purchasing and selling का, मान लो कि जो डॉलर का रेट है, ठीक है, जो उसका purchasing का इंडियन रुपी के साथ करता है, it is doing at the rate of 1990s के टाइम का, 1990s के टाइम का, when it was just around मान लो कि 50 रुपीज का, बट वो बेच रहा वो प्रॉफिट पे है। द आरबीआई इज सेलिंग एट अ प्रॉफिट, राइट? वो डॉलर एंड ऑल उसने कितने पर खरीदे थे? एट 1990s एंड 2000 का रेट जो चल रहा था अराउंड लाइक 50 रुपीज का, बट वो बेच कितने पे रहा है? वो 75 पे बेच रहा है, राइट? तो अल्टीमेटली उसको वहां से प्रॉफिट भी मिल रहा है। जो 5 बिलियन डॉलर जो बेच रहा है बैंक्स को, वो प्रॉफिट पर बेच रहा है, बट जो उसकी कॉस्ट है वो 1990 वाली ही है, ठीक है? तो अगेन RBI is making a profit here, and that can also be given to the central bank as a dividend. Not the central bank, the central government as a dividend. Again, like that can be used by the government for the infrastructure projects also. And maybe the borrowings can be reduced in future as well, right? And also, LIC में अगर वो 60,000 करोड़ गवर्नमेंट को मिल रहे हैं, अगर 60,000 करोड़ अपना स्टेक बेच के अगर मान लो कि गवर्नमेंट को मिल रहे हैं, तो अगेन द बोरोइंग कैन ऑल्सो बी रिड्यूस्ड, बिकॉज डिविडेंड भी मिल रहा है गवर्नमेंट को। सेकेंड थिंग, अपना स्टेक बेचकर भी पैसा कमा रही है। तो जो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला था ना कि लाइक दे स्टार्ट विद द बोरोइंग प्रोग्राम लाइक जस्ट बिफोर द बजट, राइट? सो दैट कैन ऑल्सो बी रिड्यूस्ड। तो क्या पता फिर ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशंस करने ही ना पड़े, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट के पास ऑलरेडी पैसा हो। Okay, so these all things like relate to one concept, just to maintain or reduce the inflation rate and to maintain the stance of rupee कि मान लो कि रुपये की वैल्यू depreciate ना हो। Okay, so that was the easiest way that I could tell you. Also, please comment your suggestions, your recommendations, and your views on this stance of inflation. Tell me that what do you exactly think about inflation? Do you people like really think that when would RBI increase the rate of interest? Is the RBI, मान लो कि RBI को डर लगता है इन्फ्लेशन से या नहीं? Because till now the RBI has not increased the rate of interest. And also tell them like something new about the sell buy swap which I do not know. Okay, and I'll be happy to know more from you. So do subscribe to this channel, like the videos. I will love your comments in the comment section and press the bell icon. I sign off. Thank you so much.